If you have watched my previous video, I moved and I actually started to work from home as well from the 6th of April. Today I'll be sharing some tips for you to work from home, especially if this is your very first time. Keep in mind, these are my personal tips. Please feel free to add your own in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Anyway, to give you a bit of a background first, this is not my first time working from home. I have worked remotely for 2 years when I lived in Brighton, and I worked for a company that was based in London. And during my time in university, I used to work with the student union, and I was analyzing data surveys done by the students, and I could do that from sunny Italy during the summertime. I also worked on a project called the Engineering Face of the Future during my time in university, and every week I would send either an article, videos or pictures to a company who was recruiting engineers. And they wanted to know from engineering students what it was like to be involved into engineering. And now I am back to work remotely, given the situation we are in at the moment due to coronavirus, and you might as well be in the same situation. And I know that staying in all day is not easy, and although working from home has its advantages, it can be challenging sometimes if you fall into a lazy spiral of laziness. So to help you out, here are my personal tips on what to do and not what to do when working from home. And keep in mind, the situation might be different depending on what kind of job that you have, your personality, whether you like or not the job you are doing. These are general tips, and keep in mind I have a regular 9 to 5 office job at the moment. Alright, let's get started, shall we? First tip, guys, do not wake up at the very last minute. As you don't have to travel to the place of work to your office, you can sleep more in the morning. I am sleeping 30 minutes more every day, which I think is great, and I'm actually taking advantage of the quarantine to get some energy back and rest a bit more, because I wasn't sleeping much before. But I also suggest you do not wake up 5 minutes before you actually start to work. I did that in the past, and let me tell you, it wasn't nice. It was actually really bad, because I would wake up, rush to switch on my laptop, rush to the toilet. I was basically tired, and I would start working with my brain switched off. I was basically tired. My brain was not functioning well. And it's not actually nice. As soon as your alarm goes off and you wake up, you go like, work. It's a no-no, at least for me, which takes me to the next suggestion. Tip number 2, you should keep a routine still. Although I wake up later than usual, I still have enough time to have my breakfast, make my bed, clean after myself, make a tea, and then start to work. This helps me to have a structure and a direction during the day, so that I don't do things randomly when I finish to work and I have a lot of things I have to do I could have done before. And you could do whatever you like. You can even read a book, you can even meditate before you start your work day. I think it's just nice to start with yourself before you go into your workload and switch your brain on at the same time. Tip number 3, guys, do not wear your pajamas throughout the day. Yep, although it's really cozy to stay in your PJ, I personally wear other clothes so that my brain knows that bedtime is over. When I wear my PJ, I know it's time to relax and go to bed, and I don't want this to be the mood I'll be in when I have to be productive. Instead, I just wear a normal, casual home outfit which I am comfortable in, which actually gives signals to my brain that it's time to get the work done. Tip number 4, guys, keep your phone away. Chances are you're now by yourself working from home and no one is checking on you physically, which gives you more freedom. And because of that, we are more likely to check our phones, especially social media, more often than we should. I still keep my phone away where I cannot see it. It's on silent so I don't hear any noise, any notifications, which I actually turned off, because this is a huge distraction during the day. But I tend to check my phone during my breaks when I should, unless I have an important call I have to attend. Otherwise, my phone is out of the way throughout the day. Tip number 5, guys, have a room or space, if possible, where to work in. Now, this is something I struggled with a lot before. I actually started to work from home on April 6th because I moved to a new house where I can work from a big living room. In the house where I was in before, I had to work from my room, and I know that does not work for me. So I actually prefer to go to my actual office and work from there for around 3 weeks when everyone else was working from home. When I was in Brighton working full-time, I would work from my room, and that made me go crazy because in that same room I would sleep, work out, sometimes even eat my meals there, and then work too. So I would wake up, see my desk, and indirectly think about work immediately. I would think about the office straight away. And this can be problematic depending on the kind of job that you have. For example, I deal with complaints, so most of my day I talk to people over the phone who are most likely to, of course, complain to me every single time. And this is really tiring throughout the day, and especially towards the end of the day. So I would wake up, think about the office, think about complaining, and that's not nice for your brain. That's why I suggest, if possible, depending on your house of course, that you work in a specific room which you can isolate from other rooms where you do other things. In the house where I am in right now, I can work in a big living room by myself. It's really quiet as well, which makes everything go smoothly. And again, guys, I suggest this specifically if you have a tough job to do, depending on your personality of course. I don't really have the personality to work with complaints, but that's the kind of job I have at the moment, and I want to keep rooms and my tasks separated. When I, for example, edit my videos, I usually do that in my bed when I wake up on a Saturday morning at 8 or 9, and that's perfectly fine because that's a kind of job that I really like to do, so that I don't feel like that pressure or the kind of like thoughts that come up to my mind saying, I need to work right now on something I don't like. Also, guys, something I've noticed is that when working from home, I am more productive because I have no distractions, which means that towards the end of the day, I can finish all my tasks and there's nothing I can do because I have to wait for either a customer's response or other departments' responses. So basically, I have time for myself because there is nothing else I can do. Which means, guys, I can do things for myself, something like I can read a book, or I can plan the day, or I can plan things I want to do, organize the next travel move specifically. It's actually nice because, you know, you finish your day, you've done everything you were supposed to do, and now you still have that hour left and you can do something for yourself. That's really cool and nice. So guys, these are my 5 tips to better working from home. I hope you found them useful. If so, please give this video a thumb up. Leave your tips in the comments as well. I would love to hear and learn from you as well. I hope you guys are keeping safe and making the best out of your quarantine. Take advantage of this forced downtime to work on yourself, do something new, start a new project, start reading a new book, or whatever it is that you like doing. I will see you soon, and as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your time here with me. With love, TOG is out. Bye!